Okay, my voice is already kind of given out, so I'm just going to go on to x.com, the everything app, and we'll see what we can find here. Hopefully, hopefully we can have a little bit of fun, is my usual hope for ending on the Nazi hellscape that is X the everything app. Let's see. Congressman Randy Fine, we need more Islamophobia, not less. Fear of Islam is irrational. I mean, dude. And Hasan says, you should fear carbs instead of Islam, you sweaty animal. I assume that he's a little chubster, but otherwise that comment wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. But fear of Islam is irrational, obviously. I think that if you want to like look at the numbers and stuff, I'm pretty sure that Christianity has been responsible for significantly more violence, you know. I mean, just look at what's happening right now. Like our Christian nationalist country, under the superior uh, alcohol-addled brain of Pete Kegsbreath, is currently doing war crime after war crime in Iran. You know, like, and he said earlier in the press conference we're doing, like, you know, basically in the name of Christianity. Like, I think there is no contest between the religions, between all of the religions, of who is the most brutal, who is the most barbaric, who is the most savage. I don't usually like to play the religion atrocity Olympics, but when these people bring it up, you know, I think Christianity has a much bigger track record of causing violence and destabilization across the world. But let's see what else we got. Okay, so Rokana said, I am proud to stand with Graham Fermain, Zoran Mamdani, and join Hassan the Hun feed. The problem is with the neocons in our party who blundered into Iraq 20 years in Afghanistan, Libya, Gaza, and now support for the Iran war. Out with the old guard. We need a new moral compass or moral direction. Um, yeah, I agree. And then you got this Neanderthal, a Garwal for Congress. Oh God, wherever he is. Oh, challenging Rokana. Okay. That's going to fail, I think. But 48 hours ago, two men were beaten in your district after speaking Hebrew. Earlier today, there was a shooting at a Jewish school in Michigan. Is it politics, lack of empathy, or are you actually racist? And then Secular Talk says, Rokana, I supported leftists and I'm anti war. You, whatever the fuck you are, you must be racist and you must support murder. Do you understand how pathetic you look? It's embarrassing. Log off. Also, LOL if you're actually running for Congress. Yeah. Um, luckily, this sort of like insanity, like Zionist insanity, is losing a lot of average Americans. Like the pearl clutching about every single Muslim that exists is inherently anti-Semitic or anti-Semitic. Um, like I think that only plays with like the far right at this point. And so I think that these people, like, I'll look forward to the day that they finally crawl back into the hole they came out of. Okay, APAC. 38 minutes before this post, Rokana bragged about sitting with an anti-Semitic streamer who compares Zionists to Nazis. Well, everybody should compare Zionists to Nazis. They're the same. Like, they're one and the same. They have the exact same ideology. Yeah, exactly. Zionism is a fascist ideology. You align with fascists in both Israel and here in the United States. Your power is diminishing. Keep chirping, though. That's what you gotta do. Put them back in their place. They have no power anymore. Or, like, they have a lot less power, I should say. They still have a lot of institutional power. But their power with like, now if APAC donates to even a single dollar to a person under their normal pack, that person is never going to be in Congress ever again. Okay. This happened the other day too. My headphones, I guess, just go off if they've been on for a while and haven't maybe had any output coming to them or whatever. But anyway, yeah. But yeah, just keep making fun of them. Apex, like I said, their power is diminishing. We need to nobody to take them seriously going forward. Whoa, DSA is on the ship to Cuba, I guess. They're trying to break the siege, is my understanding. They're trying to get oil to Cuba, um, I think. But yeah, let's see. Oh, this is the guy we watched earlier. He broke his arm, protesting against the war in Iran. So cool, cool. Oh yeah, this is that cat Abu girl. Um, It looks like she's pretty close to potentially winning, or like she's in. Here, let's just watch it.
Insanely close. And there's a new Illinois 9 poll. And for the record, this is fucking insane. Cat Abughazaleh at 20%, with Daniel Biss at 24%, 0% movement. Cat Abughazaleh has picked up 3 points.
That's good.
Striking distance, striking distance, striking distance. That's insanely close. And she's objectively better than Daniel Biss.
She is.
It's not
She
even a
is.
question, dude. 20 plus 3, right there, up Biss's ass. Better candidate overall. Apex spent $850,000 against us today with an AI generated attack ad.
Cat Abughazaleh, totally fake.
They love their AI ads, man. I don't get it. Like, Cuomo did it as well. It's like the I guess it's just like a lack of creativity and maybe cheapness that like leads to this, but they have unlimited money. Just like pay some people. If you're gonna run reactionary right-wing like freak ads, then at the very least just like pay some real artists to make your fucking slop, dude. Like
Cat's campaign is being funded with tens of thousands of dollars from right-wing donors to Republicans and Donald Trump.
As far as
wow.
candidate favorabilities goes, pretty good. Cat is literally a chatter.
I am a Democratic Socialist. I'm a dues-paying DSA member, and I have
That's
been
good.
for my entire adult life.
Is there early voting in this district?
There is early voting, and we also have same-day voter registration here. So you
Nice.
can take your ID and a piece of mail that confirms your address on there, and go to the polls. They will register you. They will give you a ballot. Election day is March 17th. If you live in the area.
Yeah, I heard that there was like a little bit of controversy about her foreign policy or whatever. I agree, like, yeah, she probably doesn't. I don't know if she has a good, like, basis for her foreign policy. I would assume if she's in DSA, like, you know, she'll get there or whatever. But like Hassan said, she's better than that Biss guy. Um, Despite his name, he is not the best in slot. Like, put this girl in that slot, the slot of Illinois ninth or whatever. So if you're voting over in Illinois' ninth district, I would definitely give her a go.
This district goes from uptown Chicago up to Evanston,
Yeah,
west to
I thought it
Skokie,
was
and then all
Chicago
the way
area.
to Algonquin and Crystal Lake.
I think you should vote for her if you live in Illinois.
And America, man, America's districts. You see this shit? God, I hate our country. I hate it so much sometimes. Just, uh, okay. Ooh, let's see. The White House. Democrats are once again putting politics over the safety of Americans. Enough is enough. And the Democrats shut down. Americans suffer hours-long lines and TSA workers receive no pay thanks to the Dems shutdown. Keep yelling. I'm sure it'll work this time. I'm sure it'll work. Uh, by the way, the reason that I'm not very concerned about them calling it the Democratic shutdown or whatever is because they tried this already. They tried it last time. And I've said this before, but like the average American is too stupid to think like to like even like go out and like find this propaganda and listen to it and then believe that it is the Democrats' fault, even with the Democrats like conceding all of the messaging to the Republicans and not even going out there and counter messaging. Like the average American just knows Donald Trump in White House, long line at TSA, That's like about the wavelength, the frequency that the average American is on. So I don't really care. Yell into the wind, dude. I'm sure it'll work this time. I'm sure everyone will blame the Democrats. Um, let's see. What's this?
Governor Hot Wheels for Emma. F. Mary Kill, Joanne Chromatica, and Mayhem. I almost was praying someone would ask me to rank my favorite Lady Gaga albums.
Oh, I thought that was like Star Trek or something.
Yeah.
I had no idea what was.
Well, okay. Kill Joanne. That's my least favorite Gaga album, unfortunately. F. Chromatica. Marry Mayhem. Mayhem is phenomenal. I mean, it's just incredible the longevity of her career that she just put out that album, and it's one of her best. I'm an art pop apologist. I put it in the top 4, baby. I might even put it in the top.
Sorry, I don't really care that much about Lady Gaga. I'm gonna move past it. Sorry, Emma, I love you, but not my thing. I watched this video earlier today. Chris Hedges and uh, John Marsheimer or whatever. I'll watch a clip
Is
of it
it
real
too
quick.
simplistic to say that Trump and Netanyahu naively believed that by
Chris Hedges is a great reporter. I think he's incredible. He has a legacy, like a history, and he was also one of the few reporters that was fired because he was an objective journalist during Iraq. So for people who don't know, definitely check out his like YouTube channel and stuff. He gets some good
taking
info.
out the supreme leader, there would be regime change and the war would be over?
I think that's clearly the case.
So
with
dramatic,
Trump.
though.
I think that was the argument that Netanyahu sold to Trump, and Trump liked the argument. Given what happened in Venezuela.
Sorry, every time I see Netanyahu, I can't help but think that he is Satan incarnate. Like he looks like Satan, he talks like Satan with a garbled up voice. Like I don't know, like it's like an involuntary
He
reaction.
thought that we had the ability to float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. And when Bibi
So
told
dramatic.
him that the regime.
Okay, sorry, real quick. This video, I know that I paused too much probably, but the actual video that they like took these clips from is not this dramatic. They're just talking. They're literally just like having a conversation about what they like how they think Trump got, bamboozled into this war or whatever. But this is very funny with how dramatic it's being.
In Iran is weak, and all we have to do is decapitate it and really hit hard on that first day or two, that the regime would crumble and we would end up with a pro-American, pro-Israeli regime in its place. I think Netanyahu was very successful at telling Trump that story. And Trump is not exactly surrounded by wise advisors, so he fell into the trap. Now, Netanyahu's a more complicated case. One could argue that Netanyahu understood that a decapitation strike wouldn't work, that this would not be a quick and decisive victory, and that instead what he was trying to do was trap Trump into a long war in which...
I never understand if Netanyahu is actually as like, Zionism brained or whatever. I think he is. Like, I think he does kind of truly believe that like Israel will be ascendant and like and take over the region or something. So I think he probably believes his own bullshit. But yeah. I had something else I was going to say, but I forgot.
Case, Iran would be destroyed. In other words, Netanyahu understood that the regime would not fall quickly, but once we committed to fighting the war, we would have no choice but to see it through. And that's the situation that we're in now. So that's a possible argument. It's hard to know for sure whether it's true.
Okay. One thing I did learn from watching that is I need to put a little more time and effort to my YouTube shorts. That was like so intense. I bet that goes hard in the algorithm. Um, I'm just like I ain't got time for that though, man. I didn't even have time to do a short today. And like I think that my shorts are pretty like good for how quickly I like make them or whatever. It's just really clipping shit from my YouTube channel or like my videos, but um I don't know. I just don't got the time to do that. Like maybe someday if I make it big, I'll hire someone to do it, but oh, Dave Porkboy. Barstool Sports Dave Portnoy hopes Greta Thunberg's Gaza aid flotilla is hit by a missile on podcast. Oh, I remember that. But also, Greta Thunberg, by the way, is a world hero. I say that Khalil is like an American hero. She is like a hero of the world. This might be like blasphemous to any religious people like listening to this, but I truly believe that she is very similar to like a Jesus-like figure, to be honest. In terms of like her moral clarity, her like her just like willing to put herself on the line and in the lines of fire from like all of these like supremely powerful forces or whatever and like political actors and stuff. Like I'm talking Jesus from like a purely like historical perspective because as you know, as everybody knows, I am the pope of the seculars. I know everything about secularism. But I also read like the history of like Jesus Christ as a figure, and I see him very much as like um a provocative sort of like populist in my opinion like left populist sort of like provocateur sort of person or whatever. And I actually see Greta as like almost carrying on that same sort of vein, especially with like the causes that she is attaching herself to and stuff. But anyway, let's see what as I just compare, and I'm sure like piss off all of the religion heads out there who hate Greta Thunberg, but also don't know anything about the actual life of Jesus Christ. Let's read what Dave Porkboy has to say. Dave Portnoy, you know what? When there are terrorist attacks in the U.S. by extremists, I prefer that the same politicians and podcasters who egg them on with nonstop inflammatory rhetoric and by endorsing Hamas rallies and who refuse to condemn phrases like globalize the Antifada, uh, and who blame everything on Jews, then don't then try to act surprised or sympathetic when these. Here's the thing. I'm not surprised that these attacks are happening, but the cause is not that. The cause is not people being in support of the Palestinians or whatever, or people using the apparent like code like cheat code word globalize the intifada, which automatically increases anti-Semitism by 100% every time you say it. The reason that these attacks are starting to happen more often is because we are destabilizing the region, and like what happened with in Michigan at the synagogue there or whatever, we're killing all of the people's family who have family over there, and they're making, yeah, they're like lashing out in the one way they think they can, and also they can get guns and whatever weaponry they want here. Like, so, yeah, I'm not surprised that these things are happening. It's just the reasoning, like, it should be obvious to anyone that Israel and America's destabilizing efforts in the Middle East are the primary culprit. Um, it's insulting and you're not fooling anybody. I'd rather Mamdani be more like his wife who probably already smashed the like button a billion times and threw a party at Gracie Mansion. I don't I don't know what that means. Who already smashed the like button a billion. Okay. At least she owns it. Give me the straightforward hatred rather than the hypocrisy. Okay, that's ridiculous, pork boy. Go back to your fucking sports show. Shut up and podcast. Shut up and podcast, you fucking loser. Okay. Sorry. Oh, and Matt Lex said go fuck yourself. That's even that's actually I think mine was funnier. Sorry, Matt. Whatever. I was gonna maybe respond, but it's fine. I'm not very technically savvy when it comes to X.com because I don't really do it that much. So I'm like, I don't want to like accidentally respond to Matt Leck and say shut up and podcast because I like respect him or whatever. But okay, right-wing activists. I did hear about this. Right-wing activist Jake Lang caught an alleged catch a predator style sting, texting someone posing as a 14 or a 15-year-old girl. The Bulwark. That was actually one of the articles that I was thinking about reading. I'm not going to here because my voice is kind of giving out. But it was one of the ones that I had, and you can see it here in my saved stories. It's right here. I'm not lying to you guys. I would never tell a lie to the technically clay heads out there. I would never. But yeah, oh, what a surprise. Another right-wing freak turns out to be a pedophile. Wow. So surprised, so surprised. seems to happen all the time. Um, let's see here. Let's watch Mehdi Hasan explain this. Is he says Zateo. This is Zateo Mehdi Hassan's new, or I guess not new anymore, but news network that he has on YouTube. This is a moment now to go after Trump for his lack of a plan, lack of a strategy. The Democrats just keep missing the goal. Um, I mean, yes, but also like go after the morality and the like despicable nature of what Trump is doing as well. But okay. Um, Mehdi Hassan explains the continuous failure of Democratic leadership on Piers Morgan uncensored. Piers is a funny guy. Not in like a comedy sort of way, but Piers is interesting because he is one of the few people who host who will have on like actual left-wing people. Most places they banish the left. They do not allow a single word of left-wing like I don't know words like they I don't know how I'm supposed to phrase that, but like they don't let a single left-wing word out of the mouth of any of their guests because I think they think it's too powerful or something. I don't know. But Piers is one of the few that does, and I think that he's a little drama queen. I think that he loves drama. He loves being on panels where people are fighting. He loves getting clips. I think that that's kind of his main thing, so that's why he kind of does it. But let's see what Mehdi Hassan has to say here, and then I'll scroll a little bit more and potentially call it.
They are weak. They are useless. I mean, the leadership. I don't like to generalize because there are a lot of Democrats like your Ro Khannas who are doing very good work in trying to stop the war, in highlighting the double standards. There is Senator Chris Murphy's been very strong. Senator Chris Van Hollen. There's individual Democrats have been very strong. The leadership, Schumer in the Senate, Jeffries in the House, absolutely useless. When they're asked, are you going to fund this war? They can't just say, no, we're not going to fund an illegal, immoral war. They don't understand the politics, as you say, that the party, the base, is in a very anti-war, very angry position. The American public as a whole has a very dim view of the Democratic Party. Did you see the
this is the problem, and it's a problem that like a lot of people can't even quite understand. I like to think back to like so the Democrats never actually message for the obvious popular position or the obvious future popular position in order to build a wave that they can then ride to success or whatever. And obviously they do that because they don't actually believe, like they don't actually want the Iran war to stop or whatever. But I want to go back real quick to the like post October 7th Biden bear hug strategy or whatever, and then that leading into the Kamala Harris president's or like candidacy or whatever. They had to twist themselves. This is the untold consequence, or like the unseen consequences uh, of these types of messaging failures. Is they had to twist themselves into such knots because they were morally bankrupt, because they had the immoral position and they couldn't go out there and just state the obvious moral like thing. Because Democrats, if it doesn't go against their corporate interests or the state interests and stuff, they will go out there and they will message well and they will create a base that like of support and a wave that they can then ride to success and power. The problem is that they choose not to do that because of their donors and stuff. And so the same sort of thing happened back then where if they would have just ridden the moral position, like led people to the moral position when it came to the genocide in Gaza, and then like continuously built on top of that and talked about how immoral the Republicans were for wanting this to keep going on. Like if they could have just done that, they would have, it's not only that they would have won, I think they would have like demolished like and crushed the opposition if they would have crushed the Republicans if they had done that, if Kamala had done that, if she had taken that strat. So this is just more of the same from them. I don't really have any hope that they're going to change anytime soon. It's only once we get money out of politics and get like more left-leaning people to start kicking these goons out of Congress, that we'll see some change.
All recently, Piers, that says the only two things that are less popular than AI is very unpopular in the US. The only things less popular than AI are the Democratic Party and the Islamic Republic of Iran, according to public opinion.
Yeah.
That's a savage indictment of the Democratic Party and its leadership. And that's because they are out of tune with American voters, are definitely out of tune with their base. This is a moment now to go after Trump for his lack of a plan, lack of a strategy, betrayal of his base, his immoral killing of schoolgirls in a school and then lying about it and trying to blame Iran, supporting a war in which
they can't do it because they're in support of those things, because their donors are in support of those things.
Oil depots and civilian infrastructure without going to Congress. Piers, Tony Blair went to Parliament, went to the UN Security Council. George Bush sent Colin Powell to the UN Security Council. He went to Congress to get a vote of authorization. This guy, Trump, hasn't even bothered to do even what Bush and Cheney did when they rushed to war. And yet the Democrats' open goal just keep missing the goal, the leadership, again, of the Democratic Party. As I say, individual Democrats.
Yeah, and they're also just always going with the weakest possible option to fight back. They, like, after the war starts, they then create a war powers resolution that then fails or whatever, to stop the war or whatever. Like, where's like, just start bringing lawsuits. Like, be like, this war is illegal. It is illegal. This war is illegal. It was not authorized by Congress. It's illegal. So it has to stop or whatever. Like, bring a lawsuit, like, or get behind a lawsuit. Go out there and publicly support some sort of lawsuit for that. Or same with the tariff shit. Like, go out there and be like, we're gonna get all of our all of the individuals of our district's money back or whatever by suing the Trump administration for the tariffs or whatever. Like, they never want to play hardball, obviously, because they're controlled opposition. But yeah, I don't know.
Democrats, especially those running for president, are doing a good job. Ruben Gallego of Arizona has been very strong. I like his tagline that Trump was elected to try and expose pedophiles and end wars. Instead, he's protecting pedophiles and starting wars. I do think that should be the line of the entire Democratic Party.
He has to protect them because he is one, you know? This is kind of gross. Sorry, Mom Donnie, I'm not on board for this, but I had a productive meeting with the FIFA president, Gianna Infantino, on Wednesday. I'm looking forward to bringing the magic of the 2026 World Cup to every New Yorker. Fuck FIFA, and to all hell. They should have kicked Israel out ages ago, like years ago. They are immoral. They gave a fucking peace prize to our goddamn president who is at war with, you know, like Iran and has been involved in, you know, dozens of wars since his presidency started. Like, fuck FIFA with a 10-foot pole. This photo is embarrassing, Mamdani. You should not have taken this photo. See, for anybody out there who doesn't think I am objective and can go after the people I like I can, I promise you, and I will, I'm sure, as Mamdani makes terrible decisions every once in a while. He's better than most, but he is a politician. He's going to disappoint me eventually. And he already has in some respects or whatever, but ooh, anonymous. Transitioning to green energy would have cost less than an oil crisis, much less than war, and would have created the so desperately needed jobs. Ooh, Anonymous is going full woke, full green. I mean, Anonymous is so interesting to me. They're like a hacker cell or whatever. I think they're the Guy Fawkes mask people or whatever. They always had a vaguely populist sort of like ideology, I think. Only recently, I feel like they're becoming more left, like overtly left-leaning. I am curious about that. But Anonymous, I have a task for you, okay? If you're listening out there, if you're listening to me, I know you are. You listen, you're everywhere. We are all anonymous, as you say. Get the photos, dude. Go find a way to get into that database wherever it is. If it's, you know, a database here, if it's a database in Iran, if it's a database in Israel, wherever that database is, go get the photos. You know what photos I'm talking about, okay? Not just of Trump, not just of Bill Clinton. Get the photos of everybody, every single person you can find, okay? And release them. You can censor it. You can censor the parts that need to be censored, but release the photos. And then, you know, I've never had a problem with Anonymous because I think it's kind of badass to have a hacker. So, like from like a purely like, like if this was a movie, it's cool sort of perspective or whatever. I don't necessarily think they really honestly do a ton. They've had a couple major and like major hacking hacks that they've done that I think have been like somewhat good if I remember correctly, but I'd have to look back into it. But you know what I'm talking about, Anonymous. Go go do it. Yeah, I don't know what they got on Lindsey Graham. At first I was like maybe it's just that he's gay or whatever, but I mean, I think everybody maybe the secret that they have on him is that he's actually like a trans man, that he transitioned at some point and he's been hiding it for his entire life or something, maybe. I don't know. What do I know? Ugh, Randy Fine. He's got a, you know. You know my thoughts about guillotines, right? If you don't, go view that short. It didn't play well in the algorithm, but okay. I think I'm done rotting my brain for today.